Hey everybody, hope your day is going well. We are back with Bob Dylan, Hurricane. This one came highly recommended. So thank you for that. And I believe this is about Reuben Hurricane Carter. And I know just a little bit about the story because I've seen the film, but that's over 20 years ago that I've seen it. I think it must have been, 2002, because it was just when Denzel Washington won the Academy Award for Training Day that I went on this binge in the following years. Then I was, Glory, of course, which she also won an Oscar for, John Q, Malcolm X, what else do we got? Pelican Brief, License to Kill. Man, he has so many. So many great movies. So let's go. Also, I think this is going to be more straightforward, and it's not gonna be as abstract as the ones I've done before. So maybe it's gonna be a little bit easier on the brain to digest. Just a feeling. If it's a storytelling song, as many of you have told me, relax is maybe not the good word for it, but hey, let's listen to Hurricane, man. I'm here for it. Oh.
Pistol shots ring out in a barroom night. Enter Betty Valentine from the upper hall. She sees a bartender in a pool of blood. Cries out, my God, they've killed them all. Here comes the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world.
Ooh.
Three bodies lying there, does Patty see? And another man named Bello moving around mysteriously. I didn't do what he says, and he throws up his hands. I was only robbing the register, I hope you understand. I saw him leave and he says, and he stops. One of us had better call up the cops. And so Patty calls the cops. And they arrive on the scene with their red lights flashing in a hot New Jersey night.
Yo, this pace is a little bit faster than the other songs I believe I've done. And vocally, really, I like it. And the cadence of "Here Comes the Story of the Hurricane," it sounds so familiar, but I know I've never listened to an 8-minute song. I mean, I know I haven't sat down and listened to this song. So maybe, was this in the film? And is that why it sounds familiar? I don't know if this was used in the actual movie. But that line sounds so familiar, that cadence. Like, sounds familiar. But this is really, like, I thought it was going to be straightforward, great storytelling. Of course, it's based on a real situation, so it is heartbreaking that, this happened, wrongfully accused and sent to prison. Patty Valentine, I believe, was a witness, right? I know, I know that, and of course now she's seeing that, but she was a key witness, I believe, in the case. Dang, man. Dang. Oh, we just did a song as well with a person in Canada who was imprisoned also for 23 years and then got cleared because of DNA evidence later on. It's heartbreaking and it's frustrating at the same time. Whew. Yo, I gotta rewatch this film. And this is like almost a musical historian like Gordon Lightfoot did, or a musical documentary. I love that, man. Just the account of what happened or just retelling. It's so important that is preserved.
Hot New Jersey like the time before and the time before that. In Patterson, that's just the way things go. If you're black, you might as well not show up on the street unless you wanna draw the heat.
Damn, man, he's even at the other side of town. Man, I can't remember. It's been so long since I've seen that film, man. And if it's, of course, it's a film. Some things might not be the same as in the song because, you know, real life films and songs is still a bit different, of course. But I get the gist will probably be very accurate, the base of it. And yeah, this racial profiling, man. I'm not in America. I'm not black, but I am brown and I'm in Belgium. And I have a little bit of experience with that racial profiling. It's not the same, but I can relate a little bit. Being prohibited from entering certain bars, you know, when I was younger. Also, when I went to America for the first time, they pulled me to the side. And my girlfriend, which is my wife now, she was in panic because she didn't see me anymore. Where is he gone? Well, I was I had to answer some questions because of just my name being Arabic. So I understand it a little bit.
Alfred Bello had a partner and he had a rap for the cops. Him and other Dexter Bradley were just out prowling around. He said, I saw two men running out who looked like middleweights. Jumped into a white car with out-of-state plates. And Miss Patty Valentine just nodded her head. Cops said, wait a minute, boys, this one's not dead. So they took him to the infirmary. And though this man could hardly see, he told him he could identify the guilty man. Upstairs. The wounded man looks up to his one dying eye. See, why'd you bring him in here, boy? He ain't the guy. Here's the story of the hurricane. The man the authorities came to blame for something that he never done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world.
Dang.
4 months later, the ghettos are inflamed. Rubens in South America fighting for his name. Well, Arthur Dexter Bradley's still in the robbery game. And the cops are putting the screws to him looking for somebody to blame. Remember that murder that you happened in a bar? Remember you said you saw the getaway car? Think you'd like to play ball with the law? Think it might have been that fighter that you saw running that night. Don't forget that you are white.
Okay. Now it's coming back a little bit. Yo, we rather blame him than you. Because the obvious reason here, you're white. Which again, going back to my airport story at JFK in the U.S., I've told this maybe before in the reaction, and it came up in the same kind of way. I replied that to this gentleman who was asking me questions, and what are you doing here? And I said, we're going to see this, all the touristy kind of stuff that we were about to do in New York City. This was in 2009. He said, why you keep saying we? Because I said, yeah, me and my girlfriend. And said, why isn't she in here? Said she's white. Hey, the dude cracked his smile. I know maybe the airport at customs is not the place to joke around, but kind of broke the ice. He smiled, man. He smiles. Yo, I'm sorry to go on tangent but this is, man, I feel, man, damn, yo, so frustrating. And this cadence of this song sounds good. I kind of feel guilty by just bopping to it, man. It's good. Great storytelling. The writing's there. There's nothing really to break down here. It's just listening. absorbing the story, and like, yeah, my heartbeat has actually gone up a notch since the start of this song. Really, I could feel it in my throat. Just, you know, it's infuriating, these type of stories, man. Okay, I actually have to calm down for real. Let's go.
You said you saw the getaway car, sneaking like the play ball with the law. Think it might have been that fighter that you saw running that night.
Damn, man.
Don't forget that you are white.
Sounds good, though.
Arthur Dexter Bradley said, I'm really not sure. The cop said a poor boy like you can use a break. We got you for the motel job and you're talking to your friend Bello. You don't want to have to go back to jail, be a nice fellow. You'll be doing society a favor. That son of a bitch is brave and getting braver. We want to put his ass in the stir. We want to pin this triple murder on him. He ain't no gentleman jail.
Damn, I don't want to pause it, but just because I'm going to lose this thought, was it also because he was getting too good in boxing and somebody wanted him gone so he wouldn't win? I'm not sure. Maybe I'm making up my own story right now, but there seems to be a memory that, you know, like, oh, he's gone up and somebody wanted him gone as well. Maybe I'm just fabricating my own story right now. I don't know. But it's crazy, too, because they brought him in to the guy and the survivors, and it's not him. And they still try to pin it on him. Yo, God. I'm going to go punch a wall after this. Gee.
Take a man out with just one punch, but he never did like to talk about it all that much. It's my work, he'd say, I do it for pay. And when it's over, just as soon go on my way up to some paradise where the trout streams flow and the air is nice, and ride a horse along the trail. But then they took him to the jailhouse where they tried to turn a man into a mouse.
Dang.
All of Reuben's cards were marked in advance. The trial was a pig circus, he never had a chance. The judge made Reuben's witnesses drunkards from the slums. To the white folks who watched, he was a revolutionary bum. And to the black folks, he was just a crazy nigger. No one doubted that he pulled the trigger. And though they could not produce the gun, the DA said he was the one who did the deed, and the old white jury agreed.
Damn, man. All the details of how this comes together, and like, oh, all the steps along the way that it could have been rectified, but just because of this racism and stuff that, you know, this is, oh, it's so. Also, he got away with saying the N-word there. Hey, you can't pretend like that didn't happen, you know, like, you know, you have to write it as it is. Maybe you wouldn't get away with it these days anymore. Well, can you get away? That gets frustrating too, right? Yeah, but, you know, you have to write it like it is. You know, Stephen King has many novels where, you know, you have to write it, man. Just, you know, don't pretend it didn't happen, you know. Dang. Oh, man, this case is so frustrating, as all cases are with innocent people being convicted. But this is just like, damn, they're just framing him for this. This is not just a mistake. This is not a mistake. This is intentional. Oh, God.
Was falsely tried. The crime was murder one. Guess who testified? Bello and Bradley, and they both all they lied. a man be in the palm of some fool's hand. To see him obviously framed couldn't help but make me feel ashamed to live in a land where justice is a game. Criminals in their coats and their ties are free to drink martinis and watch the sunrise, while Reuben sits like Buddha in a 10-foot cell, an innocent man in a living hell. Yes, that's the story of the hurricane, but it won't be over till they clear his name and give him back the time he's done. Put in a prison cell, but one time he could have been the champion of the world.
Wow. Another masterclass in writing on the Dylan journey, but a little different this time because it was, like I said, more straightforward. It's storytelling, easier to digest because this is important, that everybody understands it, right? Compared to Desolation Row or Ma, It's All Right, I'm only bleeding, where it's more ambiguous, abstract. Everybody can have their own interpretation, and not one is wrong or right. And we could talk about it, which is a lot of fun. A little bit harder on the brain to digest, but that's fine. But this really, this is the story, and it needs to be told in a digestible way for the casual listener too. And he did that, and that's a different type of skill. And he delivered it in a very audibly pleasing way too. And it's sad that these type of songs have to exist, but they have to, and they are important that they being created, Damn, man. There's not a lot that gets me fired up in this type of way, like injustice. And there's a lot of it in the world. That is something, since I've been a kid, that it, maybe because the way I was brought up, and the type of environment that I lived in, it gets me pretty fired up, But man, incredible song. I can see why so many people recommended that. I need to watch the film again. And here, this song was made. I do believe that he got cleared, right, in the end, but this song might have been made while he was still inside. And I think the movie was made after, maybe? Maybe I'm making that up too. I don't know. So I got to be careful what I say, but correct me. I have no issues with being wrong and being corrected. My mind is always open to be changed. Yeah, man. Looking forward to more Dylan and also more recent Dylan. So definitely continuing. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.